From speaking to A&Rs to watching great interviews with music executives, it really doesn't take long to realise that only 1 in 10 artists are discovered and signed through demo submissions, whereas the other 9 out of 10 are discovered through alternate means.
The best way to get a record deal is to not try to get a record deal. Focus that energy on making amazing music.
So what does this leave you with as an artist or music maker? And that's why in this video, I'm going to be breaking down 4 fundamental principles on how you can become one of those 9 out of 10 artists who are discovered, noticed, and signed. So let's dive in. Welcome to my channel. My name is Daniel Fish and I help people survive and thrive in the modern music business. In order to thrive at some point, if not many times, you'll be having some sort of music business deal. Whether that's from a record label, a music publisher, a merchandise partner. Either way, these deals will be heavily investing in you. So for them to consider and pursue it in the first place, they'll be looking for potential. So the question arises right now. What can you do to set yourself up for success so that when one of these A&Rs or scouts discovers you, they really take note? And that's why in this video, I'm talking 4 fundamentals. Not little timely techniques, but fundamental principles and mindsets that transcend genre and fit in to any part of your artist journey. I'm going to say it like a broken record, to build momentum, that all important momentum. So first things first, if we know only 1 in 10 of artists signed actually come from their demo submission, where do the others come from? How do the talent scouts and A&Rs actually discover that talent? The reality is the industry we work and live in is extremely social. The culture's based around gigs, the nightlife, the events, the clubs, and also like conferences too. And because of that, there is a lot of weight in introductions and recommendations. And think about it, a recommendation comes along with that person's reputation, their experience, and their insight. So much more credible than an A&R receiving a cold email from someone they don't know asking them to check out their music. And funnily enough, on this topic is one of my favourite stories of all time. It's called The Third Door by Alex Banayan, a great non-fiction book. It is very American, I must say. And while it's entertaining, there's a lot of nuggets of wisdom in there. But this third door concept fits well in this principle. Alex argues to get into a nightclub, there's 3 ways in. There is the main entrance, which 98% of people use. Then there's the VIP entrance, which you either need money or status or to know the bouncer to let you in. Alex argues to always try and find the third door in. And in the concept of a nightclub, he recommends jumping through a window to then get in the fire exit to go through the kitchen upstairs to come down. I don't know. But it's a great concept. Think of a record label. That demo submission portal is probably used by a lot of people, which means even just to initially get noticed is tough enough, as there's so much traffic there. What about finding the third door? And that's why the first principle of this video is to cultivate meaningful relationships. And no, I don't just mean with people of interest of the industry. I mean with everyone, with fans, followers. You never know who's following you. Let's take the example of Nautica, who I had on the podcast a fair while ago now. They are 2 incredible lads based in Liverpool, smashing it in the dance music world. On the podcast, they were telling me, and I must say here, they are really genuine on social media. They're really good in investing in those just conversations. Turns out they'd been speaking to for a while without realising a booking agent from South America. From them just investing in that conversation and showing that they're interested in their fans as much as their fans are interested in them gives a great impression to that fan, or in that case, a booking agent. And I'm not saying use this as a strategy. I'm saying just be human, be real. Think of this mindset, as you never know who's either following you or who's connected to you. If you're quite mean to someone and they're connected to an A&R of a label you want to sign up to, that's going to get passed on. Just be wary of that and always invest in the social aspect of building those really great, meaningful interactions and conversations with your fans or people who are interested. So that's the first principle. But for that recommendation to happen, said person needs to know you, your music, and feel your passion and potential. But it's so easy to fall down rabbit holes on social media, on Netflix, maybe even YouTube. If you are now, please get back in the studio after watching this video. It's so easy. It's the path of least resistance. I'm guilty of it too. There's just so many great things to watch. But the reality is that takes away from your musical project. It takes away time and energy, which means you're not putting the time in to build your artist footprint. So that's why the second principle of this video is to create more than you consume. Build a daily habit, a ritual, a routine. So every day you're at least putting a little bit of time in. And most important of all, track it. As we know from Snapchat, from maybe active minutes on your watch, when you start building the streak, you really don't want to break that streak. Build a habit, build a routine of creating more than you consume every day. Whether writing better music, improving your songwriting, your sound design, your mixing abilities, you will get better through practice, and making it a daily habit will help, because making it a daily habit means there's no decision whether you do it or not. Even if it's just to organize your samples in your studio, you're turning up and doing the work every day. So create more than you consume. Whether that is deep investigations and experimentations with music, which might not see the light of day, whether it is intriguing social posts, content that people feel connected to your story, or, of course, those meaningful interactions and conversations. Putting a focus on quality and putting the focus on making what you want and like to make takes the pressure away from trying to fit into a label's box, a label's taste, and means making your best music and art, which I guarantee through really following your curiosity and creativity, you'll be making the music labels will prefer rather than cookie cutter tracks that are just made to fit the trends of today. And this nicely takes us on to the third principle. Before we get there though, 2 quick questions. First, are you one of the 66% who don't subscribe to this YouTube channel? Sorry, had to. If I am bringing you value and you are enjoying this content, please consider smashing that subscribe button. And if you would like a notification at 1 p.m. every Monday when I drop a new video, ding the bell. If you are subscribed, thank you so much. And hit like if I am bringing you value. So the second question, which is related to the video, is what is your unique selling point as an artist? I've spoken about potential a lot in this video. Where does that potential actually come from? That's because the third principle here is embrace you. Whether you're a solo artist, duo, group, embrace you. Embrace your perspectives, your loves, interests, your experiences. That is what makes you unique. That is your unique selling point, your own vision and kind of perspective. You are your biggest asset. And if me saying embrace you, embrace yourself, in some ways put yourself out there like never before, that can be worrying, and it's still scary to me right now as I'm talking to a camera in an empty room other than myself. It's strange, you know. But if that is something you are worried about or you're unsure of how to begin on, I definitely recommend starting off with Mark Manson's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Beep, because this channel is family friendly. I definitely recommend that as a starting point. That's definitely helped me. It's comical too. It's quite entertaining for that kind of self-help book. But it is a great starting point. But don't forget, building confidence. Don't forget, finding your expression is all part of the journey. Don't be worried. Take it day by day, trying to get 1% better every day. One little step closer to your dreams, your goals, and where you want to be in the future. So the fourth and final principle of this video, and I'm excited to share this one as it's more on a personal level for me. I always used to say this quote all the time. I always used to think, oh, I understand it. But I'll be honest, I don't think I've properly understood it until the past few months, especially with YouTube and some of the writing and working on my own personal brand. I honestly don't feel like I've understood this until now. And this principle is focus on your journey. I've personally been so focused on destinations in the past, on I want to get signed here, or I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that. And through doing that, you achieve, but you don't enjoy the step-by-step process. And more than anything, you can be putting pressure on yourself in a negative way. There's good pressure, but there's also negative pressure. By focusing on your journey, focusing on your progression, you can do some clever things around this. For example, you could document the process, whether in video content, whether on your social media posts. You can let people into your story, let them understand you, let them be a part of it. Then, through progressing as an artist, people feel invested in your story. They feel invested in your journey, which then helps with the first principle I spoke about of having meaningful relationships. Through people feeling invested in your artistic journey, they're more likely to recommend you. They're more likely to introduce you to their friends. But it also ties into the second one. By thinking about the documenting content of documenting your story, you're creating more than you consume. And by also focusing on your own progress, you're not too focused on producing that singular hit for that label, or you're not focused on writing that perfect email to get that collaborator. You're focusing on making better music, whether it's mixing, sound design, songwriting, or maybe it's other skills like networking or building your network, marketing your music. By taking things step by step, still having a plan and direction, but focusing on the enjoyment, focusing on being in that daily struggle at times, can really help you have a positive mindset to your artist and take a little bit of the pressure and expectation off. And I promise you, if you do adopt focusing on the journey and really becoming an artist, really expressing what matters to you, I honestly reckon organically things will just flow for you, and you'll stop thinking too strategically all the time and just focus on making your best music that you can. So this has been my 4 fundamental principles on how to get your music heard and noticed. And from watching this video, you might have thought you were looking for like a short-term gain of little hacks, little tricks. I'm always about the fundamental mindsets, the fundamental principles, as while this will take longer, while this is the road less trodden, this is the most rewarding path in my opinion. You're not wearing a mask, you're not looking for little hacks to just get followers, you're focused on building a fan base, you're focused on building connections, you're focused on making your best music. And I think that's the most rewarding for people who listen to your music, but also you as an artist. So if this video has brought you value, please consider smashing that subscribe button. And if you'd like a notification 1 p.m. every Monday when I drop a video, ding the bell. So I'll be back on Monday at 1 p.m. with another video. So until then, make sure to smash that subscribe button and stay safe, stay well, and stay creative while you're working away in the studio.